Hey guys, Carl Brown here. Today we're going to learn how to play Canco del Lladre by Miguel Llobet. Now this is a version of an arrangement that he did of some popular Catalan folk songs. So this is one of my favorite pieces as well. Actually means Song of the Thief. We're going to steal it. We're going to learn it ourselves. Alright, so let's take a look at it. I'm going to go through this phrase by phrase. You're going to have a tab to download so you can follow along more easily. Just click the link and you'll be able to download the tab, follow along, and I'm just going to kind of follow the tab as I go. And instead of really kind of breaking each note down note for note, because the tab is right there for you, I'm instead going to give you some kind of performance tips, maybe some technical tips for the more difficult sections that come around. There also is a bunch of repeats too, so it'd be it's kind of a short piece already, it's just a couple minutes long, but there are sections that repeat, so it's going to be even quicker to learn, hopefully. All right, so let's jump into the very first phrase here. Alright, so that starts, now obviously we're in drop D tuning here, so just take your low E string and tune it down to D. You'll see that marked on the tab as well. Now, this is very soft. You want to make this arpeggiation nice and soft, just like it's kind of building up to the main melody. So that's just... Now I like to do it like that, where I kind of start softly and I kind of build through the arpeggio as it goes. Slow it down. And just kind of like that. You can, this is an arrangement. You can do what you want. You can interpret it the way you want, which is great about doing classical music. All right, then we get to the first phrase there. Now you'll see that in the third measure, it's going to start here. It sounds like this. All right, so that's going to set us up for this more challenging part up here. So we're gonna, this melody, once again, you want it to build through. So you kind of start soft, and then once you get to that top note, now I like to hear the melody like this. And then the rest of the notes as accompaniment. Sometimes you'll hear people play it, and you kind of hear all those notes. I like kind of making it up to that top note and making that the main note. So you want to let that ring as you kind of bring everything else down and just make it in the background a little bit. Now also, you can finger this a few different ways for the picking hand because it doesn't lay very comfortable in the picking hand. One way of doing this is when you're going to the top note, you can play that with your A finger, but as you play, so you're going to start the melody with the M finger, and then play M again, I finger on the G string, back M, I, M. When you play there, that G note, you can place the A finger down on the high E string to get ready for it. So you lay those two fingers down at the same time. So when you play this top note, like that, I'll lay the A finger down with the M. So then when I grab the thumb here on the A string and then have this top note, so nice and slow. So just kind of preparing that A finger. All right, next phrase. All right, so this one's going to move around a little bit. We just ended with the open G string. That's ringing, and then you're going to come up with the... Now the way you're going to want to play this is play the 7 and 9 on top with the first and fourth fingers. Now this is the end of measure 4. Then you're going to move up to the 10th fret there on the high E string with your pinky and play that note on the 5th string with your middle finger. So we have this. Then you're going to play the 2 notes in the middle, the 7th fret there on the G and the 10th fret on the B with your index and ring. So we have this. Then you're going to come back up. So we have this kind of, going to play just an octave up there, it's not that bad. Then you can basically take what you did here, but just back a fret. And then it goes to another octave, but when you're going to do the octave this time, instead of just playing the 2 notes like that, play the 7th fret with a bar, which prepares you for the upcoming chord. Alright, so that's a bar at the 7th fret with your middle finger at the 8th fret. So you sort of put that together. Bar, and then you have that chord right underneath your fingers. And then that top note, that's a slur, so hammer on the 9th fret and pull back off to 7. And then on the B string, move that middle finger up to the 10th fret, and that's the last note of the melody. Now here, all the notes around, I like to just kind of fall off, like a little cascade. It just kind of falls off. So we got the sets up for the next phrase. So kind of went a little bit longer than the phrase, just so you can see where we're going. So coming out of this, we're up here, now we're to the 7th measure there. Now, sometimes I'll arpeggiate 2 notes. When you do that, you bring out the top note as a melody. So you can bring out a top note by playing it louder with the bass note, or playing them both kind of equal, but bringing out the top note, just separating them a little bit. In any case, on this top note, you kind of want to use the same finger, because you don't want it to, I mean, you can do it either way you want, but it kind of creates a smoother line for me if I hold it with that same finger. And then when I come down here, now when you're playing this chord, that's the 5th fret there on the A string, but I have the open B here, so these fingers on the high E string need to really remain highly arced. So you can see that the pinky was carrying that melody. And then I'm going to jump up here and shift up to the 7th fret there with the index finger. And then I'm going to play the G note there on the B string. So we have this now I'm playing that with my ring finger there because I want to grab this E note here on the 5th string next with the open high E. So it was just kind of preparing for what's coming. And then there's a soft in the middle, open G and B. And then we have moved the melody to the bass real quick. So I like to really bring that out when I play that. And when you get up to that B flat there, the 8th fret, you see I'm playing that with my 1st, then ring finger. So I can jump up here and I'm going to grab that 7th fret here with my middle finger, and that's going to prepare me to start playing the melody on this nice soft prepare for the melody on the B string. And you see I'm kind of using kind of a softer tone, not the brighter out here, but closer to the fretboard. Now when you're playing these notes, you're playing the melody note holding it while really doing the harmony in the bass with harmonics. So that's, then bring that note down with the open G, and then, so you really want to hear it as the melody note and everything else as accompaniment. You don't want to hear this, you know, it's a little bit much. So we have that little phrase, and then it takes us to the first harmonic section, which sounds like this. So a little bit of familiarity there towards the end. Now, with the harmonic section, the big thing is to find the actual melody and bring that out, because not all the harmonics are the melody of the song. So we have background harmonics, and then we have foreground, or the main melody line. All right, so the first note you hear, that's the first melody note. And then the next melody note is here. So that's the melody. So what you want to do is the ones in between that, which is you have one open the low D string, and then these two harmonics together, the 7th fret and the D and the B string, make them softer. So you kind of want to hear this, and then these loud. So you'll follow that just in the tab where to play there. And just to remind you, if you bring it closer to the bridge, those harmonics are going to come out a little bit more. So here we have this harmonic here, and then we actually play fretted notes, the 7th fret on the, it's a G minor chord. So 7th fret on the G, 8th fret on the B, and 6th fret on the high E. So you play that just kind of in the same tempo you did the harmonics, and then lift up the middle finger and play the harmonic of that 7th fret of the G. And then we continue with the same melody we did before with that harmonic again, but now when you go back to the 10th fret, you're going to add this now, you're going to change what's in the bass there. So we have this. And then down to the melody note, the 8th fret there on the B, and then move up the bass line to the 9th fret. So now you're going to want to drag that out a little bit too. And the same ending as before, except here is the G string, open G string, instead of what before we had the F sharp in it. Now it's just the G. Now I want you to hear that open G resolve to the F sharp. So when I play that, you have that open G ringing. When I put that F sharp down, I make sure the bottom of that finger mutes that open G. Hopefully not as clumsily as that. Same figure before that we started, and then go into the same melody again. Now this second one here, version of this, a little bit different pattern there. So it starts the same, the open G, then the 7/9, same first chord, same octave, but now a little less of a jump. Now we're just gonna, that's 10th fret there on the high E, 8th on the A, and then 7 on the G and 9 on the B. So we have this. right here, we go to the same chord we did before, but go ahead and have the 9th fret there on the high E string. So it's not like a hammer pull. It's going to start at the top note and just pull off. And with that same melody, that same cascade of notes, and the same figure up top. Everything's just like the same way we did before. Except now, when you get to this top melody note, the 14th fret there on the B string, grab the 11th, the octave of it. It's the C sharp here on the D string. So the 11th fret. Here you're gonna grab this, and you want to hear like kind of a slide down. So I played that 11 to 8, and now I shifted there. I didn't want to create some string noise, but I let it slide on the high string though. Kind of building up again. And then we go back into another harmonic section, which starts the same as the first one. But now we're going to continue with harmonics with this. Once again, we have certain harmonics we want to bring out and certain ones we don't. The ones we want to bring out are these. So that first one, and then we have a silent harmonic kind of in the background, and then, so the melody note here is this. And then back. So just track those out, and then the other ones bring down. So we have this. See that? How you can actually hear the melody, and then those harmonics are still keeping it kind of a little bass line. And then, so this is a melody note that is happening underneath. You're going to hit the open D string, no harmonic, and I like to drag my thumb across and catch the harmonic at the 7th fret of the A. And then these two double stop harmonics should be a little bit softer. And then, because you want to hear this, so these should be light. So we have, and then we're going to finish it. Kind of some light harmonics, which is the 7th fret on the B to the G to the B. I hope you're following along with the tab here. Then the D to the G, and then a harmonic at the 9th fret there on the low E string, which isn't supposed to be very loud anyway, and it's a hard harmonic to get to come out unless you're kind of full back here. Doesn't come out as well as the ones at the 7th fret. And then we have this final phrasing of the melody here, which is done in the bass, really along the D string. So it looks like this. All right, so I started here with these fingers. We have the low string played with it, but then the 12th fret on the D string, 11th on the G, 10 on the B. So you'll see me play it with these 3 fingers because when I start it, you can go ahead and have all 3 there. Then the 11th fret on the D, I'm trying to keep these going as long as I can. From there, we're going to jump back and play the 6th fret there on the A with your index and the 9th fret on the D string with your pinky. So this. Now when I did that too, you see I'm letting my index finger kind of go up and touch the low E string, or the D string now, to mute it so it doesn't ring out anymore. And then I have, so I play that with pinky to middle, and then up to 9 again, this time with my ring finger to the 10th fret there on the A. So like this. And then you're going to bring up the bass note to the E, just with your index. Then the top 3 strings open. And then the harmonic, as soon as you get to the top note, they turn into 16th notes. So as soon as you get to the top high E string, it becomes 16th notes. And then you go through those 3 strings again for the final 3 of the 16th note. And you got to reach up and get the harmonic, just get your pinky across those. And then come back and go. And so I'm still holding that E, should hopefully be still ringing. And you're going to grab the 8th fret there on the low E with it, or the D string of course, and then the 7th on the G, and 8th on the B. You don't have to re-hit that E though, just kind of the 3 fingers you added. You can kind of pause, and then the final line. Alright, so this is going to start here on the D string, melody's still there, and 4, 5, and you get to the 7th, and you gotta hit the open A with it. So I kind of lean in, hit the open A, then lean into that D to bring out that note, and then you're going to grab the notes in front of it on top. So even though they're on top, you want them to be lower in volume, and then so we have this. Move it up to 11, back to 7, and then this change just basically move 1 finger up on the B string there. You can see it in the tab, and then the final over the 9th fret there on the A, and then you're gonna, and that's just 7, 9, 7, 5. Now here you can play this harmonic that plays over this just by arcing that index and making sure you hit the 7th fret there harmonic on the D string, or you can just play it up here, you just as a kind of a classical style harmonic, which you'll see notated sometimes. So if you want to get fancy, do it up here. It's just 12 frets higher. It's basically all it is, and you have to basically do it with your index with your thumb picking behind it. And then the final chord. Just as that harmonic can still be ringing, open low 6, open A, and then 11th fret on the G, and the high octave of that at the 14th fret on the high E. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed it. It is a beautiful track, and it's a good intermediate level classical piece that is extremely popular, but has some challenging sections to it, but can really help you learn how to bring out a melody line and then keep an accompaniment going behind it, to really have a contrapuntal playing and to be able to control the sound of each string and the dynamics. All right, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.